guys. Oh, damn it. That's the...
If you're gonna put a bomb on, let a doctor put a bomb on. I guess that's
Shit.
true, my jacket. You damn right you're screwed up. Where the hell did you get that damn bomb anyway? The maestro. The who? What are you talking about? My friend, he's a conductor. Oh,
Yeah. I have to keep the blinds open, guys. I mean, the blinds closed, so keep the heat out.
this is a public humiliation. Well, I didn't know the bomb was gonna work. Do you know what a bomb is? You ever seen a bomb? Did you read the instructions?
It's the bomb.
No one can tell what a bomb's gonna do. They're unpredictable.
It's the bomb.
I'm sorry, Jim.
It's the bomb.
This is it.
Boy, it's hot.
Now, we don't want to take up much of your time. Let's make this short and sweet. We're prepared to offer you all the free coffee you want at any of our stores throughout North America and Europe. Plus, I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Who told you to take it? Did I tell you to take it? No. I know the maestro didn't tell you to take it. He wasn't there. Well, I thought we were lucky to get anything. Free coffee? I don't want free coffee. It's not hard to get coffee. I can get my own damn coffee. I wanted you to came after that plus. I didn't hear any plus. 20 years practicing law, I've never experienced anything like this. Look, gentlemen, let's see if we can all hear.
Oh, God.
Get myself a free cafe latte.
Mountain Dew, Baja. Baja. He's like, Baja. It's hot. It's getting hot in her. So take off all your clothes. Let me stop. I have that. It's getting hot in her. Getting hot in her. That was my title for yesterday, by the way. It's getting hot in her. Check it out. Let me stop. What else I want to watch? So much stuff to watch, man. Oh, yeah. Avengers Doomsday League. Yeah, I want to see this. Bada bing, bada boom.
What are you doing? I'm trying to reach this dust. Top fans. Why don't you just use the Swiffer duster? We have one of those. Man, where that goes. This cleans in all the really tight places and all the really hot ones so you don't have to jump.
Well, crisscross will make you
Like you
jump.
every making granny.
These are all the
Jump,
Easter eggs, references, and little things you might have missed in the supposedly leaked Avengers.
Oh, not this
Doomsday
guy. I
Cloak.
can't stand
Hey,
him.
welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Colton Ogburn. And
I
there's
can't
a
stand
scene
Colton
floating
Ogburn.
around online that I'm sure all of
There we
you
go.
cut to a wide shot of Doom, who has his arms
But yeah,
extended as he
hello to
gives rise
everyone.
this army of zombie sentinels, of which
Sorry
he's
about that.
to
Give me
set
1
our
second.
Heroes. We then cut to
All right, I'm back. Back. Bizak. Not Muay Farang means foreign, foreign Thai boxer. Shout out to him. He's doing the damn thing. For real, for real. Wiz Khalifa, you see this? Yo, holla at me, boy. I love to hit you up and do some training or whatever. Because, you got more talent than I do now. I mean, more proficiency.
Hey guys, can I just pause for a second to say how excited I am for this movie? I mean, this is
God, Colton,
the movie that
I've learned
I've
this
wanted
corny.
since I was like 8 years old, and now we're getting it, and I cannot wait to go see it. And that is exactly
Hi, guys.
how
That's
it
why
works.
I don't have too much lighting because it's too hot for all these lights. Luckily, I'm using a light that doesn't use too much doesn't give off too much heat. But still, yeah.
Fume has no nicotine, no vapor, and no batteries. It uses plant-based cores that come in a variety of flavors, and I love the fidget-friendly design, and it is also sleek, stylish, and satisfying. So when you grab a Fume Journey Pack, you'll also get a free Fume topper just for using our code ScreenCrush. Over 1 million people have already used Fume topper with your first purchase today. Now, back to what I was saying. So, as Cyclops says to me, my X-Men, we see Nightcrawler teleport and bring Gambit in, and then Mystique. We then see Sam Wilson's Captain America fly in and land, rocking his shield. And can I also just say, there has to be a scene in this movie where Sam and Steve reunite, and they're about to go into battle together, and Sam, extends the shield to Steve, and Steve is like, no, Cap, that's yours now. I'm just Steve Rogers these days. And
Shut the fuck up. Oh,
yes,
God
that would
damn.
be necessary. I'll spot him a much more powerful weapon as he hands him Mjolnir. God, this is gonna be so good. Okay, anyway, Cap, he lands. We spin around some more. This whole spinning around the character shot is meant to mirror the classic circle up shot from the first Avengers movie. We then see Nightcrawler drop Yelena into the lineup. Shang-Chi jumps in, Reed jumps in, Thor lands, and then Steve lands, and all of our heroes who were just fighting each other, by the way, more on that in a sec, they're all now standing together, surrounded by giant sentinels, being controlled by Dr. Doom, who has just betrayed them all. We see Cyclops then open fire on a sentinel, and the sentinels fire back, and all hell breaks loose. Explosions are happening everywhere. We see Steve running on fire, Sam flies by with his shield again. We see Thor swinging that axe, and we get another shot of the sentinels blasting more, and then it cuts to black. So what's happening in this scene? What has led to this moment? Well, according to the leakers, this scene is taking place
Bear to
following
fire.
Steve Rogers,
How's your day going?
Dr.
I'm fine,
Doom, and
thank
the
you.
Fantastic Four having
What's
arrived
going
in a
on?
rocket,
Thank
just
you
like
for
that
the
first Red
GIF.
Thunderbolts. They're
For the super
arriving on
GIF.
616 in the mainline MCU, where they connect with the new Avengers
Appreciate it.
with the Z and Sam's Avengers. And at some point, our heroes, they decide, okay, we're going to break into teams, and we have different missions to accomplish. And we see
Should
heavy
I
hitters like Doom, Steve, and Thor
put on
make
some more
their
light?
way
Is it
to
is it
another
is it too dark?
universe, the
Is it too
Fox
dark?
X-Men universe.
I'm trying to
Sam joins them,
cut
bringing
down on the-
Shang-Chi, a member of his Avengers
I'm trying to
team,
cut down
and
on
Yelena, the leader of the
on the amount
Avengers.
of lighting
She also
because it
joins
gives
them,
off
and
heat.
she brings
That's
reports
why
of Bob, but
I've
he's
already
not
closed
in
the
this
blinds
particular
because it's still
scene
bright as
because
day
he's
out.
likely in the mansion with
But,
Xavier and Magneto, apparently
close that
keeping
up
the
'cause
Void get unleashed
all
at
the
some
sunlight
point,
is letting
and
in
Xavier,
hella
enters
heat.
Bob's mind, and he fights the
And
Void, and
turned off the
really
bright,
awesome.
and I don't
So
have
anyway,
bright lights on.
amongst this
I wouldn't have any
team
light
made
on
their
other
way
than
to the X-Men
I'm live
universe.
streaming.
The only member of
But,
the Fantastic Four to travel there is Reed
Thinking,
Richards.
is
Well,
it too
of
dark
course,
or is it
he
just
thinks
fine?
Doom
I
is
think
his trusted
now
friend
when
from
I
the
have the
universe
camera at this
as well.
angle,
Now, we
it
know
look like
from
it's just
official
fine.
teasers that were released online
But
that Thing ends up going to Wakanda,
when
where
I
Shuri
bring it
and
back
M'Baku
over here, it's a
join.
little too dark.
Yancey Street between Room and Grand.
And we
But
know
right
there's
here
some
is
leaked images
perfect.
featuring the Thing,
I just don't
John
feel like having
Walker,
my arm
Bucky
extended
versus
out that
Falcon.
way.
They go to the TVA, and I think it's safe to assume
Although
that those three,
I
plus
could just move
Shuri's
up
Black Panther,
so I
as
don't
well
have
as
to.
Ant-Man as a rep for Sam's Avengers team, they have all traveled
You see.
to the TVA. But again, that's all speculation on my part. Let's keep talking about this leaked scene
How
in
about
question,
this?
right? So when this group of heroes
How about that?
arrive in the Fox X-Men universe, the X-Men assume that they are being
Catch me
attacked.
outside.
And
How
we
about
see a
that?
big fight ensue. We see Gambit versus Shang-Chi, Mr. Fantastic versus Nightcrawler, Yelena versus Mystique.
Imagine
It is
milking
going to be dope. But
your
it would appear
spot
that what finally
on a
brings the
cheesy
heroes together is this
afternoon talk
betrayal
show
by Dr.
into
Doom,
becoming
who
a
I think in this
multimillionaire.
moment has taken something from the X-Men universe, perhaps the weapons that they've been using to save their own universe from incursions, which is rumored to be a weapon that is a type of very powerful explosive device. Anyway, I think we are now seeing Doom travel either to the TVA or back home to Universe 828 to enact his true plan, not one to save the multiverse, but one to
Take these
let it
glasses
end so
off
that
again
he
till I
can
need
rebuild
them.
it from scratch in the void, aka Battle World. I think his plan is to land his
Boy,
kingdom
it's
of
hot.
Latveria in the void, where
Getting
he
hot
then
in her.
gets to rule as God Emperor. Okay, so now let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? The leak being a major leak that just a few years ago would have been scrubbed from the internet in seconds. This leak footage started out as a very pixelated
Come on, let's.
We then got leaked
We know that
images
leak
that
was
were much higher
intentional.
quality,
We know
and
that
now
this
we just have a
Avengers
full-on
Doomsday
HD
leak was
recording of a
intentional. It
computer
was
screen
released by the.
playing the
it was released by someone in the production. You don't release something this big accidentally and then still leave it up. It would have been scrubbed off the internet by now. They wanted it to be leaked as part of their marketing to drive up hype.
We've got lots of great shirts over there. Shopping our merch store is the best way to support our channel. Thank you so much for your support. Link in the description below. So,
when it's an accidental leak, that shit is immediately erased from the internet.
Likely sued and could even face criminal charges, and they'd never work in the industry again if they were to get caught. So leaking this kind of thing is just not worth the risk, and that's why you never see leaks like this happen. And that is why I've been slowly but surely convinced that Marvel is behind this leak. The Avengers
of course they are. Of course Marvel's behind the leak.
We had Chair Watch.
We know they're behind the leak.
Released week by week, but leaking online the week before. We have what our good friend of the channel, Alex, calls Russo tone poems. Marvel has really reinvented the wheel when it comes to marketing this movie. And that's because they aren't only trying to recapture the nostalgia for the MCU through legacy characters, but they're trying to recapture the nostalgia from back in the day.
Plays as Sir, your favorite character, Superman or Soldier Boy. Neither one of them are my favorite character. Soldier Boy's not a real superhero. He's a parody of Captain America in the Boys comic book. He's not a real superhero. I don't care about the character. My favorite character is Batman.
Oh, did you see this version? Oh, I saw the pixelated version. There's a better quality version out now? Oh, I need to find that one. This is brilliant marketing to keep the film in conversation. And
Superman's in my top 5 superheroes, but he's not my top.
6 months out from the film,
my top is Batman.
Frankly, a more effective
the next after that is
this stage of the marketing. And I should also mention, for anyone who thinks
Wolverine, then Spider-Man.
That's because it's incomplete. ILM does visual effects, and those are still very much incomplete in this leaked footage that we are seeing. The Sentinels are still being animated. Beast is still being animated. And a lot of the actors, they weren't even on set at the same time when they filmed this panning shot. So there's a lot of compositing and motion tracking going on as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this leaked trailer. That's our breakdown for it. Let me know your thoughts on it.
All my favorite right here. Boom, Batman 1989. Michael Keaton Batman.
Did you like it? Do you like what you're seeing from Doomsday? And do you think this is an effective
Wolverine in the classic golden brown
If you're new
suit.
here, please do feel free to subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified every time.
And Spider-Man from the Spider-Man the animated series, 1994.
I'm Colton Iver.
Yeah, like I said, Superman's in my top 5, and Soldier Boy is not even a real superhero. He's a parody.
As a creator, I hate
Batman or Joker. I just said Batman's my favorite character.
Footage to use. Storyblocks has always got my back. 4K HD video.
Joker's not a.
Music, sound effects, and images.
I don't like Bat. I don't idolize supervillains. Sir Andrew Garfield or Toby. The Andrew Garfield version of Spider-Man was too much of this millennial hipster. And that's not at all what Peter Parker was like. Peter Parker was a nerdy guy. He wasn't some little hipster type. He wasn't some hipster genius. Hey Amy, no topic. It's Ask Me Anything format.
Evil. Welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and today we're going to dissect the big problem with an evil Superman. We're going to look at the most famous evil Superman in recent years and explain why this idea always falls apart in the long run.
Because no one likes the evil Superman trope is corny. That's why. It was started by cynical comic book creators, and now it's just cliche for people who can't be original.
Only interesting when he breaks bad. But that says less about Superman
and more
about how we fundamentally misunderstood this character.
Nice show.
Well, these evil Superman stories aren't actually about Clark Kent. They're about our inability to believe that someone with that much power
could be good. Right.
Let me explain. We all know the story of
the people who I completely agree. People who don't like the people who champion an evil Superman are people who who are just cynical people who can't believe something can be fundamentally that good while holding that much power. These are the same people who tend to be radical leftists politically. Who, well, I mean, not radical. Some are radical leftists, some are just leftists.
What happened? How did we go from the Superman
Kroll.
who saves cats stuck in trees to one playing judge, jury, and executioner?
I haven't seen Kroll in 30 years. It's a good movie. It's basically if you took King Arthur and put it in space. That's such a that's so random. That's so random. Go from Superman to Kroll.
Respect, and most importantly, he loves humanity. Superman's biggest power has never been his physical.
Most people never even saw Kroll. It's a cult.
That kills people is easy. You can just let go.
Oh, you're in Key West today?
And rule the world. We've seen that
Okay. Cool. I mean, not cool. It's opposite of cool. It's very hot. I'm in Maryland. It's 100 degrees, and with the humidity, it's 114 degrees. I'm exhausted. Like I got up at 4. I ran at 4. 79 degrees outside, so, and that was the coolest it was all day, because usually between 3 to 5 a.m. that's that little cooling off period of the day. So like if you want to like work out at a really nice temperature to beat the heat, it's usually between 3 and 5 a.m., which is usually too early for some people. But, you know, got right out at 4:45. And 79 was probably the coolest. 78. 78 degrees was probably the coolest it was going to be for today. Yesterday was 79 when I went out. And again, that wasn't even that didn't even include the humidity. With the humidity, it was more like 80 something. And that was the coolest it was. I know, so you know, it's been a heat advisory in effect for the past 2 weeks. I think I gotta check the weather. It's supposed to level off tomorrow. If not, I'm just gonna stay my ass in the house, and I'm gonna celebrate July the 4th by watching all 3 Captain America movies back to back. I was gonna watch something with my wife, but she's gone off hiking. So, oh well. Is it? Wow, you have us beat. Yeah, the Northeast is facing a heat wave. I'm not sure if that's the case. Like Florida is hot. Don't get me wrong. Florida's hot as you know what, but I don't think it. I think the heat wave is concentrated here in the Northeast, and I think the Midwest as well, or parts of the Midwest.
Even cited as saying that they created him as a way to tell stories of hope during times when things looked hopeless.
Exactly.
Years,
that's why, I mean, even though I wasn't bashing Superman a minute ago when I said he's in my top 5. I was just saying it because the guy just asked me a random question. He was like, "Oh, Batman, Superman or Soldier Boy." I'm like, does he read comics? The comparison didn't even make sense. Superman or Soldier Boy. I think he meant either to say Superman or Homelander, or Superman versus Captain America. But Soldier Boy wasn't even a main character in the Boys comic book. He's more of a major character in the Amazon Prime show. But the choice between favorite character didn't even fucking make sense. Superman or Soldier Boy. I think he even meant Superman or Captain America, or Superman and Homelander, which is like an evil version of Superman. So anyway, that's how I can tell some people don't actually read comics when they ask goofy stuff like that.
During times when things looked hopeless. For years, we have read stories of a Superman who helps those in need, loves his mom, and says stuff like, "Oh." So then, what happened? How do we go from the Superman who saves cats stuck in trees to one playing judge, jury, and executioner? Well, people started to mistake the super part of Superman as the power that he has rather than his restraint. I mean, think about it. Superman spends his entire life surrounded by people who, by comparison, have the power of an ant. But rather than look down on them, he treats them with
This question seems odd. Behemoth.7186 says, how are you dealing with fear? Some people telling you it's quote unquote fuel, but if someone doesn't have an engine for that, understanding it as a fuel doesn't help. That question doesn't make sense. I think you were you the person yesterday asking a bunch of random quixotic questions? That question doesn't make sense. Like I literally don't know what that like literally don't know what that means. That's like gobbledygook. That's just like gobbledygook. Like I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to ask. That doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know if you were the person I had to put on pause for 24 hours because that person was asking a bunch of schizophrenic questions. But yeah, I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. How you, it, that doesn't make any sense. Nope. Dash U4D says, appreciate it. I see in your avatar you got the the Rubik's cube variant when they made it. I remember that the pyramid one. I still got the classic one. I still haven't solved that one yet. I literally went on YouTube to learn the methods for solving it. Still haven't done it. Callus X says, hi, what's up? Aaron Pauly says, thank you. I'm making a vid tonight, so I'll give you a shout out. Oh, okay. That's what's up. Um, have we chatted before?
dignity, respect, and most importantly, he loves humanity. Superman's biggest power has never been his
Becky
physical
says,
strength.
hi, what's up,
It's his
Becky?
emotional strength. Writing a Superman that kills people
Behemoth
is
says, I don't know
easy.
who you're
He can
talking
just
about.
let
Have a good
go,
day.
unleash all
Oh,
of
have a
his
good day. I
aggression,
mean,
and
it's
free
not
the
my
world.
fault you
We've seen
asked
that
us
become the end goal
a
in every
quixotic
single
question.
evil
Like,
Superman story
a
so
question is
far.
only
It is
like
much
an
harder to
answer
write
can
a
only be as
Superman
good as
who
the
wields
question
that power accordingly and doesn't
given
make
it.
the alien
Like,
god the most
it didn't make
important
any sense.
aspect of Clark's life.
Like,
The idea of an evil
reread
version of
what you
Superman
wrote
or an
and tell
anti-Superman
me
has
if
been
that makes
around
sense to you.
basically forever. Bizarro, though not necessarily
Like,
the evil Superman we're talking about, was
you may
invented
think it
just
makes
20
sense to you
years
because
after Superman.
you
So a villainous
did it,
Superman is not a new
but
concept. However,
oh,
it did gain
thank you,
widespread
Kalisek,
popularity through the
for the
Injustice
Bumblebee
universe.
GIF.
In
I've never
2013,
seen that.
DC released Injustice:
That's cool.
Gods Among Us, the prequel comic to the fighting game of the same name.
Thank
In
you.
that comic, the Joker drives Superman insane when he kills a pregnant Lois Lane.
But
Driven
yeah,
angry with
but
greed
to
and
Behemoth, I'm not
self-control,
even
the
trying to
Joker,
roast
and one
you,
thing leads to
brother.
another, leading
I'm
to
just saying,
Superman declaring
if
to save the
someone
world by
asked you
doing,
that
quote,
question,
whatever it takes. Injustice
would you
was pretty
honestly
much Superman's
understand
one
what
bad
that
day.
means?
At first, Injustice worked.
I'm
It
pretty
pressed
sure you
new take on
wouldn't,
Superman
but
in
you
the
know
DC
what it
universe.
means
The
because you
comic
are the
also
one
validated the
that
audience's
made
growing suspicion of an entirely
made
peaceful
the question.
Superman.
But
We
I'm
see
saying
the
to
amount
an
of grief that
observer,
Clark goes
do you
through
think an
and
observer would
understands
think
his
that
anger. It
question
makes
makes any
sense that
sense?
he would snap like that.
I'm
However,
pretty
because
sure
the
if you were
concept
honest with
itself was
yourself,
for a
you would
video
say it
game,
doesn't.
every comic issue in each game needed to create new reasons for the conflict. When he begins to continue killing
Thank you,
after the
Kyle.
Joker,
Like
we become almost numb to the
d-
cruelty of the
I like
character,
these.
or it becomes
That's a
shock
cool
value.
GIF.
So not only does this
Ooh.
snap go against everything
Are
we've known
these
since
must be the
Superman,
newer ones because I haven't seen the ones
let's
like
just
this
get bold.
before.
More recently,
That's
take
cool.
Homelander, for example. While he obviously doesn't have the same alien history or even human upbringing as Superman, he was created as a satirical parody of Superman. He is a version of Superman that
Thank you. But yeah, thank you for those GIFs because I haven't seen them be that interactive. Becky says, "How's your day?" It's all right. It's just hot. I don't know what part of the country you're in, Becky, or if you're in the U.S. at all. But I'm on the East Coast. It's really hot. Like I said, it's 100 degrees, and that's just the dry heat. But with the heat index, the heat index. It's like 114 degrees because of the humidity. It is hot. I think it went down a little bit, but it's still mad hot, mad crazy hot. Cause like I had accumulated a lot of points, so I used them to give you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. I but yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm doing fine. Drinking some Mountain Dew. Sitting here fat after I just ate. um, Watching some YouTube because uh, YouTube is really the only thing I can play in the background that won't get copyrighted. Like if I
By
watch anything
comparison,
else, it's gonna
I'm the
get
sort of
copyrighted.
an
If I listen
ant,
to
but
music, it's gonna
rather
get
than look
copyrighted.
down on them, he
But I can
treats them with
play
dignity and
YouTube in the
respect, and
background and it
most
won't get
importantly,
copyrighted.
he loves humanity.
I'm watching the
Superman's
Screen
biggest
Crush
power has
video.
never been his physical strength, it's his emotional strength. Writing a Superman that kills people is easy. He can just let go, unleash all
How
that
how
pent-up
did
aggression,
you
and
accumulate the
then
points?
go.
Is this
We've seen that become the end goal in every single
from
evil
doing
Superman
content
story so
yourself
far. It is much harder
or
to write a Superman who wields
um
that power accordingly
YouTube
and doesn't
Premium?
make the
I,
alien
I
god
don't
the
even know
most
how you
important
accumulate points
aspect
on
of
here,
Clark's life.
and
The
I
idea of an evil
probably I
villain
should know, right?
Superman
Because I'm a
or an
content creator, but
anti-Superman
I
has been
don't know.
around basically forever. Bizarro, though not necessarily one of the evil Supermen we're talking about, was invented just 20 years after Superman. So a villainous Superman is not a new concept. However, it did gain widespread popularity through the Injustice universe. In
Oh, I couldn't stand the
2013,
Injustice
DC
universe
released Injustice:
participating.
Gods Among Us,
Oh, so
a
just
prequel
so
comic
you
to the
mean
fighting
just
game of the same name. In that
so
comic,
you're
the
saying just
Joker drives
participating
Superman
in live
indiscriminately and kills
streams
a pregnant Lois Lane. Driven
gives you
anger and
points?
grief, Clark kills the
I didn't know
Joker,
that.
and one thing leads to another, leading to
So you would make because of that, you would think people would be better better audience members on these streams, but some people don't don't look at it that way. Oh, Becky says got to go. Sorry, no problem. Have a good day. If you're here in the U.S., happy July the 4th to you. Make sure you leave out some milk and cookies for Captain America, because yes, July 4th is also Captain America's birthday. And I'm not joking. It literally is. Steve Rogers' birthday is on July the 4th, so make sure you leave out some milk and cookies for Captain America. Not Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers. Context says participating in lives, making comments, sharing videos. It's kind of similar to what other newer platforms do. So, any by superstarring people, you should have that set up on yours. So I have a different thing set up through my like it does YouTube hasn't given me the ability to do that. It would come through them. Like it's YouTube's platform. I don't get to choose that. I have something through an my other thing I have that I use on here, which you can see in the back, which you can often see Streamlabs. Streamlabs allows people to accumulate points to do certain stuff, but not directly through YouTube, but through Streamlabs itself. Um, Cal6 is add a van club and the different enemies they offer onto your channel. Monetize, but make it adult only, and you'll be safe that way to do that on YouTube. A van club? I'll look into it, but I haven't heard of that. Oh, fan club, fan club. No, well, actually, no. I do have a subscription. I do have a if that's what you mean. I do have a subscription thing on here. Maybe that's something different than the fan club, but I do have a subscription on here. People can sign up to be contrarians on here. It's a monthly membership. So I do have a monthly membership on this channel though, if that's what you mean. But maybe that's different than the fan club.
It's not a new concept. However, it did gain widespread popularity
hot,
through the Injustice
man.
universe. In 2013, DC released Injustice: Gods Among Us, the prequel comic to the fighting game of the same name. In that comic, the Joker drives Superman through the evil Superman we're talking about
I keep
was
rewinding.
invented
I know.
20 years after Superman. So a villainous Superman is not a new concept. However, it did gain widespread popularity through the Injustice universe. In 2013, DC released Injustice: God's
I was
Blood,
never into
the
the
prequel
Injustice
comic of
thing.
the fighting game of the same name. In that comic, the Joker drives Superman insane when he kills a pregnant Lois Lane. Driven angry with grief, Clark kills the Joker, and one thing leads to another, leading to Superman declaring to save the world by doing, quote, whatever it takes. Injustice was pretty much Superman's one bad day. At first, Injustice worked as a fresh new.
Well, it doesn't have a super fan button up here, so maybe you just have to grow a bit. Yeah, it might be. It's not for smaller content creators. It might be for. Well, so the thing is, so with YouTube, you have to understand everyone is on. As far as YouTube's metrics are concerned, everyone under 500,000, and I'm kidding to you not. Everyone under 500,000 subs is considered a small time content creator, which is just out, which is just outrageous to me. Like that someone can have like 200,000 subs and still be considered a small time creator because they're comparing them to the creators who have like 2, 3, 5, 10 millions. Like those, those, those. The funny thing, the channels that have like 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, those are the outliers. Those aren't the norm. The norm are the small time content creators, the people under 500,000. They make up the bulk of YouTube, not the people like Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and all this whatever. All those folks. Like as far as I'm concerned, if you hit a million to me, if you hit a million on here, to me you're a star. You're like a superstar if you hit a million. So but then the funny thing is, I'll see people who have over a million subs, and I've never heard of them before, because some of them make all their content just doing YouTube Shorts, which I rarely watch, and they have like, and they'll be like, I'll look at it, it'll be like 8 million subs. I'm like, how the hell this person got 8 million subs? I've never seen this person before, or heard of this channel before. But some people just make all their content doing shorts, and or at least they used to. I think YouTube is now kind of emphasizing the long form content. But the super fan thing may be only for folks who have a much higher subscriber base. So uh I'm not sure why you have to go and read the new things they're offering. They're very competitive. Again, they roll out sometimes the way they roll out stuff is regional, just like the hype button. The hype button isn't accessible everywhere. Um, because I've asked people who know me personally to hit the hype button on my videos, and they said they couldn't find it. So YouTube doesn't roll out everything on their platform universally. Sometimes it's on a it's on a piecemeal basis. So most people have those subscriptions and that in their bio too, where if I click in here, then I can reach it from here. So they have it available is all I know. It's okay. I would have sent you more if I could have. It doesn't offer anything just to like, and it shows how many people are online in your name. I mean, you could do me a favor by hitting the hype button if you can see that. Every time I ask someone, can they hit the hype button, they say they can't see the hype button though. So there's no button for superfan or subscription or any of that on this page, so maybe it's just from my side. Yeah, like I said, the thing is, things are very regional on YouTube and can differ. So what I can see on my end may not be what you can see on your end. I mean, as far as like if I'm watching content, I may or may not see features that you may or may not see if we're in different places. So contact says I see, but I've seen some with 500. Wonder if it's under YouTube Premium. Oh, yeah, that may be it. If you're using YouTube Premium, that's a whole different. You're you're working with a whole different thing. So for most people, they have this. They can see the super thanks button. You can hit the super thanks button on videos. But I haven't seen super fan. And I had 6 months of premium because I had got that for free. Uh, um, I don't remember super fans, but it's not like I was sending out those things to creators at the time when I was watching premium. Cosmetics is pretty cool actually. I don't know, but I earned like 3,000 points and 2 days just like and stuff and interacting on the life. Okay. So yeah, well, it's too bad they are missing opportunities. Well, yeah, I mean, look, is the is look, YouTube belongs to Google. I can't say what they should and shouldn't do. Um, all I do know is that sometimes when they roll out different features, it can be regionally based. Like I said, the hype button, which they started doing last year, not everyone can see it. Maybe you can see it on this video, maybe you can't. But the hype button is a new thing to help. It's only for small time content creators, for people under 500,000 subs. You can hit the hype button and it puts them in a ranking. The more high, the higher up in the ranking they go through the hype feature, the more Google will share that creators content through the algorithm. So it's a way to help small time content creators find a larger audience. But the problem is they already said they didn't roll it out everywhere. It's like it'll be in some areas and not in some other areas. So.
Take on Superman and the DC universe. The comic also
I assume they know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know.
Entirely peaceful Superman. We see the amount of grief that Clark goes through and understand his anger. It makes sense that he would snap like that. However, because the concept itself is for a video game, every comic issue in each game needed to create new reasons for the conflict. When he begins to continue killing after the Joker, we become almost numb to the cruelty of the character, or it becomes shock value. So, not only does this snap go against everything we've known from Superman, but
right.
It just gets old. More recently, take Homelander, for example. While he obviously doesn't have the same alien history or even human upbringing as Superman, he was created as a satirical parody of Superman. He is a version of Superman that shares the same immense power, but lacks all the morality and compassion. The thing with Homelander, though, is that he wasn't ever a character that we viewed as the paragon of good. Homelander is all the super without the man, and there was never a belief otherwise.
Right.
Throughout every season of The Boys, we watched as Homelander became more and more depraved. From the second he was on screen, we were aware of his morality. So it becomes less jarring or out of character when his goal of world domination is finally being pursued. It also works for The Boys because Homelander is not the hero. Homelander made for an interesting villain because we got to see this unstoppable force get taken down by a group of rowdy underdogs. However, like I said, it does come to a point. Towards the later seasons of the show, complaints began to rise about the show's constant need to one-up itself with kills. Homelander worked best in the early seasons because, like Injustice, it feels like a new take on a famously good hero. Once we know, though, that this character is willing to cross that line, the shock of them doing so entirely fades away. Take another, even more similar evil Superman adaptation, Omni-Man from Invincible. Omni-Man is directly inspired by Superman. Invincible co-creator Robert Kirkman even said that Omni-Man's original name was Supra-Man. Parody names aside, they do have a similar power set. They both come from alien worlds, they marry a badass, and prior to Nolan's turn, they are both beloved by the public. I mean, even Viltrum is similar to some iterations of an evil Krypton with their manifest destiny approach.
We're to hold the planet as the last son of Krypton. Our most trusted officers were each given a planet to weaken by themselves. I was one of those lucky few.
So it's a shock to everyone, both in universe and out, when the real Omni-Man is revealed. This is their world Superman being revealed as a world-conquering homicidal sociopath. But see here, it works because, despite their immense similarities, Nolan is not the Clark Kent allegory of that world. Mark is the Clark Kent of this universe. Invincible's main theme centers around the human experience and how that is what makes Mark good, or at least not a conqueror like his father. While Omni-Man has a backstory similar to Superman's, Mark is technically the Superman of this story. However, Nolan does have a face turn and aids Mark in saving Earth from being conquered. Eventually, while he does still kill, he does return to the classic Superman values of being a champion for the oppressed.
Those last two weren't Superman.
Right, but they were still Supermen. And that's important because this means that the problem isn't just evil Superman. It's the assumption that this much power will make anyone evil no matter what. Like with Injustice, it's the belief that Clark Kent, like anyone else, is just one bad day away from snapping. And while Zack Snyder's Superman doesn't become a dictator or take over the world, he does work under some of these same assumptions. Snyder's Superman ultimately falls into the same trap that all evil Superman storylines do.
I'm so full, guys. Oh, man.
Of its time and its director. Coming off the heels of Nolan's Dark Knight
Way too
trilogy,
much.
Man of Steel emulated the same dark, gritty tone of that universe. However, you can't really ground Superman in Smallville or Metropolis the same way you can ground Batman in Gotham.
Right.
Into the same trap that snapping. And while Zack Snyder's Superman doesn't become a dictator or take over the world, he does work under some of these same assumptions. Snyder's Superman ultimately falls into the same trap that all evil Superman storylines do. Man of Steel is definitely both a product of its time and its director. Coming off the heels of Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel emulated the same dark, gritty tone of that universe. However, you can't really ground Superman in Smallville or Metropolis the same way you can ground Batman in Gotham.
You
And
really
while we
can't.
often compare the two or pit them against each other, they are ultimately built for different kinds of solo stories. Batman can easily take on a gritty and dark tone, all while keeping his same motifs. Superman, however, cannot. Unlike Batman, Superman doesn't start his journey in darkness. He begins as the light. To have Superman spend an entire film grappling with himself further alienates him as a character, and this is part of what makes Snyder's Superman feel so
Alien.
unsupermanly. The challenge with grounding Superman is that Superman isn't grounded by his powers. He is grounded by his humanity. Man of Steel places a lot more emphasis on Clark's alien side than his human side. Instead of a Superman that feels deeply connected to humanity, we get a Superman who spends a lot of the runtime questioning whether or not the human race deserves his help.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
And that is an important difference. Superman has never been inspiring because he's Kryptonian. He is inspiring because, despite being an alien, he sees the best in humanity and chooses to be a part of it.
You trust everyone and think everyone you've ever met is like beautiful.
And this is where Man of Steel starts to brush up against the same idea that powers so many evil Superman stories. Not that Superman is evil, but that eventually Superman, like anyone else, will break. When the film reaches its climax, Clark is presented with an impossible choice: kill Zod or let him laser a group of people. Superman ultimately picks the former. Now, while you can say that he had no other choice, that only emphasizes the misunderstanding of the character. If your Superman story gives Superman no other choice than killing someone, then you have forgotten a key aspect of his character, hope. Superman will always find another choice. As he said, there's always another way. That aside, this breaking point where he does kill Zod is exactly where this fantasy of evil Superman hits a wall. Superman snapped. He lasered someone. He snapped someone's neck. So now what? See, getting Superman to that point is dramatic. You're on the edge of your seat, waiting to see if he'll actually do it. And when he does, that's it. Now that he's crossed this line, he can do it again and again and again. And eventually, every evil Superman story ends with dictatorship, murder, intimidation, etc. This new, immoral Superman just lost all of the tension that makes Superman interesting, because we now know that he doesn't have a problem crossing that line. There's a great story in the comics called Superman Exile, where it explores just how distraught Clark gets after killing somebody. After being forced to execute 3 Kryptonian criminals in accordance with Kryptonian law, Superman is haunted by his actions. He decides to exile himself from Earth before he can hurt anyone else. Evil Superman only works when Superman stops being Clark Kent. Homelander can be evil because he was never Clark Kent. Omni-Man can be evil because he was never Clark Kent. But the moment that Clark loses that compassion, empathy, and humanity that define him, he stops being Superman and he becomes a different character entirely. For a while, we looked at an evil Superman as the logical conclusion of the character. The more popular those stories become, the less they became about Superman and the more they became about us. Superman is a hero because he chooses to do good with the powers that he has, something that to most of the human race is unfathomable. This evil Superman trend rose because of our own cynicism and our own belief that corruption is inevitable with that much power. But Superman was never interesting because he had the capacity to destroy the world. He is interesting because he wouldn't. We stopped asking whether or not Superman could ever abuse his power, and as a society, we started assuming that he would. The fantasy was never about Superman turning evil. It's about proving that our own cynicism was right. Evil Superman is easy. Superman is hard. And luckily, I think we're finally coming back around to recognizing that. Shows like My Adventures with Superman are making Clark Kent just as important as Superman.
Well, maybe he's a nice guy who has powers and just wants to use them to help as many people as he can.
Clark, if you had powers, you'd do that.
In the show, we meet a relatively new Man of Steel. He's just discovering his Kryptonian heritage, but instead of isolating himself and becoming further alien, Clark is actively seeking out human connection. He wants friends. He wants community. He wants to belong. We saw something similar in James Gunn's Superman. Despite being an alien, Superman gets his strength from his humanity.
But that is being human, and that's my greatest strength.
These newer adaptations remind
Yeah,
us
except
what
James
Superman
Gunn
is
himself
always supposed
shitted
to
on it
represent. Not power or invincibility
with the
or the
Supergirl
ability
shit
to
and the
rule over
Peacemaker
everyone
shit.
else, but hope. The belief that someone, with
James
every
Gunn himself
reason,
doesn't believe in
opportunity to
Superman.
abuse their
Despite-
power, would choose not to abuse power. When you have a character whose entire premise is helping people who are oppressed, you fundamentally can't have them be evil. The question was whether or not what happens when Superman snaps. It's why doesn't he snap? We're not looking to see a story about a god being lured to the dark side. We want a story about a man who defies all odds and chooses to do good. After decades of creating characters and plot lines that validate our cynical fears about what someone with that much power would become, we seem to finally be discovering why the man part of Superman is so important. Big shout out to Lee Mazzio who wrote this video. You can find his links down below. And let us know what you think about the concept of evil Superman down in the comments or in our free to join Discord server. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.
It is hot, 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 hot. And to think in Europe, they are rejecting air conditioning because a bunch of leftists in European governments think that it's damaging the environment to use AC. Even though a lot of people die every year without air conditioning. Air conditioning has saved thousands of lives, if not millions.
It's protesting time. The CCP is once again terrified that things will escalate. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to leave a honeypot emoji in the comments below for the algorithm, and check back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for new episodes, because YouTube won't tell you about them. Anyways, summer truly is the season of love, because massive protests broke out in China last week. Again. If you're getting a sense of deja vu, I feel you. I'm getting it from just saying these words again. My deja vu has deja vu. After all, this is the third time this happened in less than 2 months. But I mean, in truth, protests in China are a lot more common than the CCP would have you believe. This time, the protest I'm talking about took place in Hefei, in Anhui province. And as you would expect, in almost every mass protest in China, the people took to the streets, blocking traffic for hours. And the police stood in solidarity with the protesters as I'm kidding, they mobilized en masse to crush the protesters. How dare they stand there peacefully? Get them! At one point, someone in the crowd ironically shouted, "Welcome, welcome, a warm welcome." Although, given that the CCP generally doesn't understand sarcasm or irony, I wonder if they thought if only Taiwan could learn from your example. So, what made these protesters have the guts to go out and shout, "Protest, protest," under the thumb of a regime that gets squeamish at even the idea of protest, and also is likely to harvest your guts?
Yeah.
Well, Trash. Yes, one man's trash is another man's call to fight back against the government. You see, according to this notice from the Hefei Municipal Bureau of Natural Resources and Planning, there were plans to make a Luyang District Environmental Sanitation Comprehensive Management Project in the city, also known as a garbage transfer station. They plan to build one new domestic waste transfer station with a capacity of 1,500 tons per day, as well as one construction waste disposal and recycling center with a capacity of 550 tons per day. The local government even said it was open to opinions and suggestions for the construction, only it didn't anticipate just how many people were mad about it. Now the CCP is probably thinking, see, this is why we don't pretend to be democratic in the first place. The weird thing is, it looks like the protest worked, at least on the surface. As the crowds gathered, a local government official announced that the garbage project had been canceled and urged everybody to disperse. This was followed by a police official reiterating that construction would be canceled. Somebody nearby called everyone to applaud, but aside from the on-the-site civil servants, none of the people applauded. The garbage process, did that help make China a cleaner and safer society? Well, here's the thing. The garbage project was supposed to be built within just 1 kilometer of nearly 20 residential areas and 3 primary schools, with as many as 100,000 residents. Nobody wants to live in trash. Not even Oscar the Grouch. That's why he's a grouch. Anyone who's ever taken out the garbage to a community dumpster knows that a garbage transfer station of that size is going to stink a lot. Really bad. Yes. But on top of that, these people had safety concerns. You see, when it comes to waste management, the CCP...
I didn't even know that I had anybody watch my channel. Sure, there are laws. I didn't know you had a channel.
Handled, but this is communism, cutting corners.
Because I know where those came from. They came from my super fans page. People gifted those to me.
Found 100 tons of garbage, including catheter bags and used IV sacks.
Yeah, everyone everyone who is a member, who's a YouTube member, has a default channel.
Pretends some of its dumping is illegal. Probably should have told someone 99.9 tons.
Even if you don't create content, literally everyone who signed on to YouTube has a default channel.
It's very serious, so I'm exercising superhuman amounts of restraint not to make a poop or fart joke after hearing dump and gas in the same sentence.
I swear, if I wasn't live streaming right now, the shirt would be off, the light would be off. I can't do that right here. Because people would think I'm thirst trapping or on some creepy stuff, so I can't do that. Even though I think I have a alright body.
Was added to Domino's best deal ever.
I should do like those people did during the pandemic and have no pants on. You know, these people would be on what's the conference call app, the what is it? You know what I'm talking about.
I think it fits.
You know, be on that doing business calls. And a lot of people would just have on their shirt and they would have no pants on. Zoom. And then like they forget they don't have pants on and they go, whoops, and then it's like you see them in their boxers or tighty whities. It used to be funny. Then you had a few idiots who got caught beating off on Zoom. Now to me that's crazy. Like Jeffrey Toobin on CNN, a CNN correspondent, got fired from the show, and I think they rehired him like a year later because he got caught beating off on Zoom. And my thing is, how the I've said this before, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. I said it back then, back in 2020 or 2021. Like, how the fuck, the first thing you want to do once you get off a Zoom call is go beat off. Like, you didn't check to make sure the camera was off. You didn't make sure that you had closed down the app. You just like, oh, well, done with that meeting. I gotta go for it. Like, what? Like, how's that the first? It's like, was that really a mistake? How's that the first? Like, seriously, how's that the first thing you do as soon as you get off a Zoom call? Is I gotta go masturbate. Like, what the hell? You don't close out the app. You don't make sure the camera's turned off.
Berry juice diapers.
I mean, none of that. Just here we
go.
Like crazy.
Shady deals with unlicensed businesses.
So yeah, that's a awful. That's probably a frightful site too. And you know, and you know it's not going to gain many followers. I don't think. Right.
Which is shocking because China's
yeah, I mean, now don't get me wrong. I've had my shirt off on the channel before, but that was a deliberate decision. Like I was, like I had, like it was one where I had, not doing the live stream. It was like a little YouTube short where I was just showing people. I had just finished a workout, so I was like, get, you know, I was trying to encourage other people to get it in too. But I've never done a live stream where I just, you know, took off the shirt and all that sort of stuff. Now I would do it if someone like, if someone sent me like a super chat and dropped like $100, like, yo, take off your shirt. I'm like, all right, $100, all right. I'll be a little Chippendale. But I mean, other than that, no, I'm not doing that.
Didn't make sense why residents are terrified about the idea of any waste management.
But there are some people I've found out. These are usually like junkies who will do anything on a live stream for money. Because one of my moderators was a bit of a.
But as long as the CCP
he was an alcoholic, and he had a lot of friends who were like loser junkie types, and he said a lot of them would do anything on a live stream to get a, you know, for a super chat. Like I refused to do some crap just for a super chat.
Join my 50-cent army by signing up to my website chinauncensored.tv. Plus, when you subscribe, you'll get access to a vibrant
like I've done some things on a super, not for a super chat, but like I said, if I get like X amount of supers, I'll do something cool. And so I did that, and I did gave like a quick self-defense tip or something.
Sparkle is here to save the day and save you money. See, it's just right for everyday messes. That's great.
But I've never like morally compromised myself for a super chat. I have refused to, because there's not enough money you can give me on here to do that.
Technology, am I right?
For 12 years, The Big Bang Theory brought joy to audiences across the world. Behind the scenes, however, things weren't always so funny. Showmances happen often on TV and film sets.
Kelly Coco was hot back in the day. I'm not going to even front.
And Johnny Galecki,
especially the very first episode,
relationship as their characters, Penny and Leonard, embarked on their own love story.
I don't know why you keep putting that together. I don't know why anyone does that anymore. No, why do they have us do it?
It's never not ended in tears. No.
Despite keeping it secret for a while, the couple eventually revealed the truth to showrunner Chuck Lorre, who was surprised but supportive. And yet, as Jessica Radloff details in her 2022 book about the making of the show, the two parted ways after almost 2 years of dating. Even though Galecki and Cuoco have stressed that they split simply because they were different people and that there weren't any hard feelings between them, they did have a slightly tricky time performing through one of Penny and Leonard's many on-screen breakups. Co-creator Bill Prady recalled being worried because the show was on a trajectory towards one of these breakups at the time of the split, adding that nobody wanted to hurt anyone who had been through something similar. But, he added, they were amazing. Chuck Lorre's daughter, Nikki, who also worked on the series, noted, it was obviously very hard when it ended for them, but I was just amazed by how professional they always were. And even though it was hard and raw at times, there was always a love for each other. Thankfully, the two were able to move past the breakup and play out Penny and Leonard's love story in full. In August 2018, news broke that the forthcoming 12th season of The Big Bang Theory would be its last, and rumors swirled that this was because Jim Parsons wanted to leave.
Unfortunately, my time is much too valuable to waste on nonsense like this.
So why did he choose to walk? On the one hand, he wanted to try something
Hey, I
new,
missed a lot of
but it soon became
missed a
clear
lot
that
of
he was
messages.
also grieving a personal loss. In 2020, he recalled, I had this moment of clarity that I think you're very fortunate to get in a lot of ways. Of going, don't keep speeding by, you know? Use this time to take a look around. According to Parsons, he told Chuck Lorre and executive producer Steve Malaro that he made the decision, in part, to honor the memory of his late father. Parsons said he told them, if you told me that, like my father, I had 6 years left to live, I think there's other things I need to try and do. Parsons reiterated this sentiment in Jessica Radloff's book, saying that the death of his dog, Otis, in 2018 was another factor in the decision. After noting Otis had been an emblem of Parsons' life with his husband, Todd Spiewak, he described the dog's passing as the end of an era. Parsons added, I don't think there was a part of me that actually thought I would do more seasons after the 12th, but I was ready to get out of the security of the show to fully find out what was next for me. In September 2010, the cast of The Big Bang Theory were hard at work on the show's 4th season when tragedy struck. A lifelong equestrian, Kaylee Cuoco was riding at a ranch outside of Los Angeles when her horse got scared and threw her off. To add insult to injury, as the horse tried to get away, it landed on Cuoco's left leg, nearly crushing it entirely. Cuoco was immediately rushed to a nearby hospital, and when Chuck Lorre heard, he sprang into action. Speaking to Jessica Radloff, showrunner Chuck Lorre called that period the darkest, most frightening time in all 12 years on the show, pointing out that Cuoco could have easily lost her leg. He said, it was a series of miracles that allowed us to get through that, and for her to come out the other side of that healthy. Lorre got the bad news about his star while on the golf course, and, by a stroke of luck, he happened to run into an orthopedics expert he knew named Dr. Stephen Lombardo. The doctor stepped in, got Cuoco transferred to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, and ensured that she got to keep her leg. Speaking to Radloff, Cuoco explained that she was asked to sign a document before surgery, agreeing to amputation if it was deemed necessary.
Oh, shit.
Thankfully, however, that didn't happen. And as for getting back to work, while she recovered, The Big Bang Theory simply placed Penny behind different objects during filming so that nobody would see Cuoco's boot. A long-running gag throughout The Big Bang Theory is Howard Wolowitz's unseen but extremely loud mother, Mrs. Wolowitz, who was voiced by veteran actress Carol Ann Susie.
You can take the damn plastic off the couch once in a while. What, so you inhabits and hump on it?
When Susie died in 2014, the cast and crew of the show were hit hard. Steve Malaro told Jessica Radloff that, as far as significant moments go over the 12 years, losing Carol Ann was so tough. That was such a big blow because she was truly part of our family. As Melissa Rauch recalled, the whole gang went to Susie's public memorial and then had one of their own. She recalled that, for the one on set, we all gathered on the stage and told our favorite Carol Ann stories through our tears. From there, the show needed to write in Mrs. Wolowitz's death as well, which was also incredibly tough on the cast and crew. Describing her as a beloved part of the family, Malaro said, we knew we had to honor her with the passing of Howard's mom. I think it was emotionally cathartic for us to be able to do that because the sadness of the characters on screen certainly reflected what we were feeling behind the scenes. Bernadette.
Anime starts with Hulu's Anime. Discover
Yeah, Hulu has hella anime on it.
Destination. Be your
Like,
anime
they are a rival to Crunchyroll. Like, Hulu is a serious rival to Crunchyroll for anime.
DSM program is built for busy nurses. Start on the first of any month.
Whether you're a pro or want pro quality,
I might
Harvard
even
understands your job depends on reliable
proffer
tools.
that they are
That's
better
why
than
we're committed to
Crunchyroll
offering
at delivering
professional-grade
anime.
tools that rival the top competitors, but at a fraction of the
Crunchyroll
price.
probably offers more
Sounds too good to be
variety,
true?
or
Stop
Hulu
by our
offers them
Harbor
better
Freight store
content.
near
Like,
you and put us
Hulu's
to
a
the
better
test.
platform
You're
than
confident you'll
Crunchyroll.
discover the pro-level quality of brands like Hercules.
Bernadette and Howard end up having 2 kids in The Big Bang Theory. But in real life, Melissa Rauch suffered a miscarriage while Bernadette was pregnant for the first time. In a 2017 essay written for Glamour about the experience, Rauch described it as one of the most profound sorrows she had ever felt in her life, adding, it kick-started a primal depression that lingered in her. She went on to reveal that she and her husband, Winston, had thought that all was well just 2 months before the miscarriage. The news, she wrote, blindsided them. Rauch said, I kept waiting for the sadness to lift, but it didn't. Sure, I had happy moments, and life went on, but the heartbreak was always lurking. Thankfully, Roush had happier news to share in the same article.
See
That
what
she and
time
her
it
husband
is.
were expecting their first
Oh
baby.
yeah, I'm
That
probably
child
gonna
was born
call
the
it
same year, and they
after
welcomed
this
the
video,
second in
guys, because
2020.
it's hot.
In 2007,
Since
the
I'm not
Writers
talking
Guild
that
of
much with
America went on
folks,
strike, bringing the Big Bang
there's
Theory
no
to a
point
halt
stretching
after
this
just
and
8
keeping
episodes.
myself miserable
Speaking
when
about this
I can
time,
turn off
Chuck
the lights
Lorre
and
recalled that
get
we were shut
naked,
down for
which I
100
can't
days.
do on
No
here.
one knew
So,
what was going to happen. No one knew if we were going to get canceled. The strike had
you know,
tangible
if people
effects on
come
the cast
on
and crew, too.
and there's some
Kunal
repartee,
Nair
then I'll
told
stay on
Jessica
longer.
Redlove that he
Otherwise,
traded in his
I'm gonna
beat-up
call it
Nissan
after
for
this
a nicer
video.
car when he was cast for the show, only to fret about his finances after the show went on strike.
I had such plans. I had dreams.
As for Johnny Galecki, he fled across the country, moving back to New York City with his then-girlfriend. Galecki told Jessica Radloff that he didn't become truly grateful for his place on the show until the strike, adding, "I even cry sometimes, telling my girlfriend, they took my show away." To complicate matters, Bill Prady and Steve Milaro were strike captains. For his part, though, Prady said that he was happy to have something to do in the show's absence. He said that, "If I sat home during that, I don't know if I would have been able to cope with the emotion of the show shutting down." Around this time, however, something miraculous happened to The Big Bang Theory. The show began to thrive as CBS aired its only available episodes on repeat in place of new programming. This helped the show grow its popularity, allowing it to return in full force for the second season. After the strike ended and The Big Bang Theory became an unqualified success, its stars became household names.
Bazinga.
As Simon Helberg told Jessica Radloff, however, some of them found it hard to skyrocket to fame basically overnight. In particular, he said his own anxieties really took the steering wheel as he became more and more famous. He explained, "Your life is changing, your lifestyle is changing, and believe it or not, fame is not the healthiest. It doesn't tend to make the issues that you have lessen." So how did he deal with it? Well, he pointed out that the fetal position does wonders, as does, as he put it, wailing and pounding on the floor. But he also credited
Or
his
you could just
survivors to
exercise.
therapy, friends, and family. Funnily enough, though, he also said that he's been grateful for all the notoriety. He said, "It's not that the success is a burden, because it's truly a fortunate thing that I feel incredibly grateful for. It's that whatever you're bringing to the party is ultimately distilled and then explodes into something tenfold the size of what it was." In 2011, Johnny Galecki earned an Emmy nomination for his performance as Leonard Hofstadter. That same year, however, he got some far less joyous news. It all began when he woke up one morning at his sister's house to find his face drooping. He later recalled that he thought he'd had a mini stroke, adding, "My sister burst into tears, and as we were on our way to the hospital, I called Chuck and told him I was paralyzed on my right side." Galecki immediately offered to help Lorre recast his role on the show, then asked if he'd consider letting him become a staff writer. Thankfully, none of this was necessary, and Lorre proved once more that he's a man of action. Galecki later said, "Of course, Chuck calls all the best doctors in the world and looks into things and says, 'It sounds like you have Bell's palsy.' But
Yeah, I was about to say,
really
that sounds
think
like
my
Bell's
acting
palsy."
career was done. As we all know, however, it wasn't. The hospital confirmed a diagnosis of Bell's palsy, and thanks to some creative camera angles employed by the show's crew, he was able to recover in relative peace and quiet, and continued playing Leonard for years to come. 3 main cast members got divorced across the run of The Big Bang Theory.
What?
When Kaylee Cuoco's divorce from Ryan Sweeting was set to be announced in the fall of 2015, she was on set and about to do an interview with Entertainment Tonight. Still, because she was shooting a particularly funny scene from season 4, she allowed her work to take her away from her personal troubles. Sadly, however, some of her colleagues weren't so lucky. Mayim Bialik also got a divorce while working on The Big Bang Theory, and naturally, it was right as her character Amy married Sheldon on screen. She later recalled, "There was a lot of emotional eating, so I wasn't the size I wanted to be in a wedding dress. Being a divorced woman back in a wedding dress was very, very strange." These highs and lows also got to Kevin Sussman, who played comic book store owner Stuart on the show. He said, "During the middle of the show,
And now he has his own spin-off show.
and living in a little studio apartment. He noted that this felt especially strange considering he was famous enough to be recognized on the street." Sussman added, "I was really depressed going through a divorce, and then, within a span of 10 minutes, feeling like I'm a celebrity to feeling like I'm a total failure and a loser inside a studio apartment. It's something I never got used to."
Well.
This is what you get with cubic zirconia stuff.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna call it here. It's hot. Um, Not much in the chat room to to justify keeping this going. So um, I'm gonna call it a day here. Turn off my light, undress, and relax till it's time for me to go to bed. Probably do a little bit of calisthenics before I go to bed, like some push-ups. But I can't do it right now. I'm still stuffed. So I'm gonna let this digest. Um, but thank you for everyone who contributed. Thank you to Kalisek for the gifts. Um, Thanks for everyone who commented. Let's do this again. Well, I'm gonna try to do this tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to have anything to do. I don't have any cookouts to go to. I'm pretty much just going to, I think, binge the Captain America movies. Although I am tempted to go see Young Washington at AMC theaters tomorrow. I'm going to check the times on that. Until then, guys, thank you. Peace out. And if I'm not here tomorrow, have a happy July the 4th. Happy birthday, America. It's our semi-quincentennial birthday, 250th. Peace.